I'm back! 23 subscribers and I didn't even have to pay one of them. Thank you very much for everybody and for all your encouragement. It's episode 2 of Midlander in the mountains. So here we go, a run VT. We're going to be following the Semmering mountain railway by foot from Payerbach-Reichenau, a station a few kilometres west of Gloggnitz. I travel there via Gloggnitz, where one of the largest paper mills in Austria was once located. Then it's onwards west, where the industrial field gives way to meadows. Those white dots are geese, by the way. And here we get our first true glimpse of the Alps. That's Alps, to be precise. Then we gently arrive in Payerbach-Reichenau. So now we've arrived here at Payerbach-Reichenau, I can explain exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to take some footage off the train, and I'm also going to walk the hiking trail that follows the track. And it starts here. And I got a map. So let's show you around the station. The station still retains the majestic feel of a royal station. And so it should. It was used by the Austrian royal family when visiting a nearby residence. And of course, they even had their own waiting room. When alighting here at Payerbach-Reichenau, you get the feeling that you've gone back in time. There's so many photographs and posters, and although the information's all in German, it's just something wonderful to look at. But I've picked this photograph behind me, which I think is extremely poignant. This is Princess Zita with 3 of her children here at the station in 1917. She was the wife of the last emperor of Austria, Karl I. She doesn't look particularly happy, and she appears, if not wearing black, to be wearing very dark colours. That's understandable. The year is 1917. The war is raging in Europe. The Russian Revolution is taking place, and the Russian royal family met their own fate. It wasn't a very good time to be a princess. The foreboding was well justified. Within a year, the war was lost. And Karl I of Austria was asked to abdicate, which initially he refused to do, but within months, by 1919, he was forced to go and then into exile in Switzerland. After a failed attempt to regain power, he incurred the wrath of the British, who banished him to the island of Madeira, where he died of pneumonia in 1922. So within 5 years of this photograph being taken, she'd lost her marital home in Austria, she'd lost her husband, and Austria had lost 700 years of empire. However, there is a nice end to the story. She raised more children, lived to the grand old age of 96, and travelled extensively. Outside the station, you've got all the tourist information you might need. And even some maps, bit of railway honour. And a cable car that looks as if it's just come straight off the set of Where Eagles Dare. Anyway, walk to the end of the car park, down a little path and through this bridge where you'll find your way to the narrow gauge railway, which actually goes to the base of the racks where the cable car is, but we'll save that for another day. I walked down into town, then into the park, where I found a delightful little pond and a house perfect for gnomes, and behind it some landhouse villas perfect for, well, people that like landhouse villas. Very pretty. Then I went down to the bridge where we can see the Payerbach-Reichenau, which is point 11 on our map. Then there's the Schwarzer Viaduct, the first on our route. And then glancing off to our left, we see Café Albert, and we're going to walk past that, do a left at the church, up here, and away we go. You do get quite close to the track. Nice. And I very much doubt you'll be asking for your money back if you elect to take the train. And as you come away from Kube railway station and to the little street at Waldwinkelstrasse, I am going to pop left and go down into the hamlet of Kube itself. And down in the pretty little hamlet of Kube, I'm going to introduce you to a little gem. So this is the little gem I was talking about. This is Kube Historical Post Office. It's been here since 1905. It's open between May and September from 10 till 5. And this is the original zinc post box. Let's go inside and have a look. Open for business. This place is built on a bit of a legend. Right, so the story goes that Princess Zita, who we've already met, was staying just down the road in Reichenau, and she wanted access to a telephone, so she actually asked the emperor if this could happen, and the owner of this property agreed for one to be installed. It was then made available for use by the general public, and the place became a post office. So this guy up here, Alois Lettner, was the original founder of the post office. A few years after it began, they made him a postmaster, and he received a local audit. Now, he was also a farmer, and when the officials came, he wasn't here. So they made an entry in something called the revisions book, stating that next time that they arrived to do an audit, the postmaster needed to be here in person. And I'm even going to give this a go, so here we go. Ein Geschäft werde dem KK Postmeister den häuslichen Dienst regelmäßig persönlich zu versehen. Or words to that effect. In other words, you've got to be here. So what's this museum going to cost you? €2. €3 if you take a tour, which is only available in German. But I'll let you into a little secret. The staff speak incredibly good English. And here's the original phone. Ihr Amt, was beliebt? Then it's back up and out of Kube, through the forest, and up to Kreuzberg, where we get our first elevated view of Austria. Morning! Beautiful as ever. When you get up here to Kreuzberg, you've got a decision to make. That route there to Eichberg just goes back to Gloggnitz Castle. The Semmeringbahn Wanderweg, the hiking trail, either takes a low route down by the line, and when taking the alternate low route, you go walk via Clam station through the forest. You'll eventually come to this sign. And when you do, you'll be greeted with this. More castles, anyone? The sign behind me states it isn't open to the public, but it's got to be worth a peek to see what the view's like. Well, I've just climbed down the rocks behind me, and I hope I get a subscriber for this. In fact, for this, your granny should subscribe, because I'm not great with heights, but I think it's been worth the effort. What you can't really see here is that there's a sheer 1,000-foot drop, just a few feet either side of where I was standing. I do tend to find that the distinct lack of health and safety obsession in this country is rather refreshing. As the Austrians say, betreten auf eigene Gefahr. Enter at your own risk. In other words, don't blame me if you kill yourself, mate. And as we come under the second of our viaducts, I should probably take a moment to tell you about this. This is where you can use your mobile phone to listen to the audio guide where an actor speaks as if they were Geiger himself, and you can get it all in English. Ah, look, and there's even a nice little book. Or you can go high, where we can discover a couple of restaurants, and there's one in particular that I would like to take you to. This one, the Althammerhof. And whilst you take in more stunning views of the local scenery, this gives me the opportunity to briefly explain to you the concept of Heurigen. This is where farms and vineyards sell their produce direct to the public at certain times of the year. Today we are going to visit Althammerhof. This place is well known round here and has been in family Schneidhofer for nearly 350 years. It's a working farm. They make their own produce. However, it's open at certain times of the year, summer and autumn, for Heurigen. You tend to find with Heurigen that the prices are slightly cheaper than in local restaurants. And although it's a working farm and loved by the locals, it's very friendly to the visiting tourist who doesn't speak very much German, because the menu is in English as well, and they also provide all the information that you might need regarding possible allergies. And I have ordered mixed plate of lamb. So for dessert today, there were two possibilities. Apricot cake, something of a speciality, but I opted for sheep's cheese covered in wild honey and cinnamon. As well as selling a range of schnapps and liqueurs here at Althammerhof that have won a raft of awards in their own right, since 2015 they've been selling something else. The first year it won a bronze, second year it won a silver, and in 2017, 18, 19 and 20 it won a gold in something called the Schnapps in Schloss Award, which is a national award here in Austria. gin. So that'll be Semmeringen in Semmering. Well, that should also win a gold in first prize in the advertising campaign slogan. And it gets his vote. Bah! Enough of those gags. Shortly after leaving out Hammerhof, I got treated to this. And the other great thing about this walk is that Mother Nature often gives you a gift. And despite having a very good lunch, I've still got room for some wild raspberries. But as I continued through the forest, I got the distinct impression the train line was getting further and further away. And I did start to question whether I was still on the right route. I got a damn fine view of Clam Castle though, but what kind of an idiot would stand on those cliffs? But using the old adage of, well, keep following your nose, eventually I did come across some tarmac. I then found my way down into the village of Breitenstein. Examination of the local map made me realise I deviated off the route a bit, ended up on the wrong street and, well, look, it's not an Arctic expedition. You got a good view of the mountains, right? Nobody died. Okay, so we've now reached the village of Breitenstein and I'm going to call filming to a halt for today. So I shall resume tomorrow and catch up with you then.